Glenn Powell, like he does a great job when he's Gary. I think Gary is his normal character name, right? Like that's
Yeah,
who.
and then
Yeah,
Ron's the hitman.
and Ron's the hot hitman, right? So like, yeah, and Glenn Powell's a good looking guy. And I like again, I agree with you. Glenn Powell did a great job transforming into all these different characters. Those I I would have been happy just watching like vignettes of that. Like it was great. Like from the
Well, he
redneck
had
to the
well, he
like
had
Tilda Swinton, like like I don't know, like German. Now we'll do the killing, and all the way up to like the KGB style, like Russian thug. Like
well,
those were great.
that wasn't the Russian thug, man. That like he had one guy was fucking Bateman from American Psycho.
100%. That's what I thought too. I'm watching his mannerisms and stuff. Like he was almost like memeified in that.
And then one guy was Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
Speedboat. Like Miami Vice.
Yes. That's the guy I think that was a bit like I felt was a bit of like a Russian mob kind of guy.
Yeah.
But then there was the very European, like eccentric, like kind of looked like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. And he was like, "We do the killing.
We do the killing. Tell me, is this what you want?"
Sometimes it's just better to be someone else. We're talking movies. We're talking Hitman, starring Greg Powell, Adria Adorno, and Austin Emilio, based on an article by Skip Hollandsworth, written by Greg Powell and Richard Linklater, who also directed. So is the pie any good?
All pie is good pie.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? If you're wondering why it's like a 23 or 24 release, kind of going back and forth, it's because Hitman did premiere at Venice in 2023, but for all intents and purposes, this is the 2024 release of Richard Linklater's new film. Scott, take us away.
Okay, so quick rundown what this movie's about. If you don't know, it follows Gary Johnson, a professor who leads a double life as an undercover as an undercover hitman for the NOLA police. And this is very, very slightly based on a true story.
Yeah, like as in there was a guy that did the thing and then they made a whole different movie about it.
Yeah. But like we'll get like the original Gary, not the original, the guy who is named Gary Johnson, who he passed away right in production, so he didn't get to see the actual movie, but a lot of the scenarios in this film where he is undercover and the reasons why people want killed are actually based on actual like cases he had, like the kid who was giving like video games and like $2 in like nickels. That actually was a person who tried to solicit his fake hitman to kill a boy. It was like kill a classmate who he thought was going after a girl that he liked.
Nice. Okay. And
yeah, I'll say this. I don't know how you feel about this movie. To be honest, I don't really care. But I think this was
hot take.
I personally think like this is a very well done film. I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie, but I think in terms of progression of story and character development and its theme of, identity and morality, like it plays through very well to like once you get to that ending, like you're like, fuck yeah, like you went through this journey.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
it. That's all you got.
No, like normally it's like give and take. Like I'll say my take, and you'll be like, Scotty, you're wrong.
Because I have a feeling the audience knows. Anyone who's listened to this show is just waiting for me to be like,
well, we're waiting.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep on going.
So okay,
I'm gonna give a round of applause to Greg Powell here.
it's
Cause
Glenn. It's fucking Glenn Powell, by the way.
is it Glenn? He should be
It's
Greg.
Glenn. You did it in the opening, and I'm like, I love this. Because people,
Yeah.
for those of you on YouTube who keep commenting on the fact that like we don't know how to say people's names, yeah, that's kind of what we do. So keep commenting, and we'll keep doing it. Keep
All
going,
right.
Scott.
So Glenn Powell. It's what happens when I do my fucking notes really early in the morning. So Glenn Powell, you're correct. Co-wrote this, and I'd say like what I appreciate and what he did was give himself a little showcase piece, right? Where he can, by portraying all these different types of hitman, it showcases what he can do in his little acting chops. So he doesn't get pigeonholed and to be
It's like the hot guy or
typecast
whatever,
as the cocky guy with abs, as
who
somebody
flies
in
planes or some things.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. As somebody with a burgeoning acting career, like that's something I also try to avoid. Because I don't want to go with the Hemsworth Ruth where I always have to take my shirt off, right?
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts.
I feel your pain, buddy. I feel your pain.
But yeah, like so obviously you didn't like this.
Okay, so let me qualify that statement. This film is what this film is. And the fact that it primarily is like, yes, it got picked up at TIFF in 2023 for about 20 million bucks, which I mean, against a budget of 9 million, great. Everybody got paid, everybody made a little bit of profit. It did 3.5 million at the box office, but it hit a really short box office run. It was primarily picked up to go on to Netflix, definitely their US one, because I found it interesting. I'm like, it's a Netflix film basically now, but I had to watch it on fucking Prime. Like I couldn't, it was not on my Netflix. So it has not been released in Canada here on Netflix. But I mean, if you're going to make a movie, it's almost like Linklater made this movie for it to go to streaming. Because I would not watch this. Like this movie would not be a good, like if I went to the movie theater and had watched this film, I would be like, fuck you. Like this is not something really deserving of a big cinematic experience. But if you're scrolling through some stuff on Netflix and you're looking for kind of a offbeat rom-com, I mean, it's kind of rom-com-y and stuff like that, it's fine. And again, I do have to be a bit careful not to try and bring too much of a critical lens to like, don't sit down to a macaroni and cheese that you made at home and go, why the fuck is this not some like 5-star restaurant level shit? Unless like you're like, yes, it was made by a chef. Richard Linklater is a fantastic director. It's fine. Like the movie is fine. It's not that I didn't like it. It's that I was like, it's not my movie. This is not a movie I would normally watch.
So what you're saying is you're just upset that you ate macaroni and cheese and you didn't throw in some hot dogs in it with a little bit of ketchup?
God damn, Jimmy. This is some serious gourmet shit.
Can I just take a, I'm sure this is going to be a very unappreciated statement or disagreed with statement. I almost felt that Adriana, is it Arjona? Jonah? How do you say your last name?
I believe it's Arjona. Yeah.
Okay. She almost
I don't like where this is going.
I almost felt she was like too hot and sexy for this role. Almost like she was such a fantasy woman that she almost entered into the realm of fantasy. The idea then being like this character, like, is this character actually interested in her as a person, or is it just because she's just like banging hot, dressed as like a fake captain, like boobs, like she's hot. Like, don't get me wrong, like the aesthetic is not, but I was like, to me, it actually took away from her character. And again, maybe I'm just trying to read stuff into a film that doesn't need stuff read in.
Well, I think like that was the basis. Like technically, once you get up to her character is when, fiction took over. Because there was a lady like in real life that the character of Greg Johnson let go because similar situation. It wasn't that she wanted to kill it. She was just in a super bad situation and she at the time couldn't find a way out. And, he talked her through it. So when Glenn and Richard here were doing the research, writing the script, that's where they kind of took it off, like, he, based on everything they knew and him researching everybody prior, so they knew, so he could present the best hitman for this person. They assumed like the lady was super hot, and that's why he.
And listen, Glenn Powell, like he does a great job when he's Gary. I think Gary is his normal character name, right? Like that's
and then Ron's the hitman,
and Ron's the hot hitman, right? So like, yeah, and Glenn Powell's a good looking guy, and I like, again, I agree with you. Glenn Powell did a great job transforming into all these different characters. Those I would have been happy just watching like vignettes of that. Like it was great. Like from
he had
to the like Tilda Swinton, like I don't know, like German. Now we'll do the killing, and all the way up to like the KGB style, like Russian thug. Like
that wasn't the Russian thug, man. That like he had one guy was fucking Bateman from American Psycho.
100%. That's what I thought too. I'm watching his mannerisms and stuff. Like he was almost like memeified in that.
And then one guy was Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
Speedboat. Like Miami Vice.
Yes. That's the guy I think that was a bit like, I felt was a bit of like a Russian mob kind of guy.
Yeah.
But then there was the very European, like eccentric, like kind of looked like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. And he was like, we do the killing.
We do the killing. Tell me, is this what you want? Listen, like I said, it's fine. If you're looking, fucking, again, I hope that wherever you're listening to this, you can, and you have a Netflix subscription, you can just watch it there. I don't really want to pay extra money for this movie. Like, if you're not going to release it on fucking Netflix in Canada, guys, can you just have it on Prime so that people with fucking subscriptions can just watch it? Because again, I don't really want to give this movie extra money. And it was interesting. And again, I'm not totally in depth with like all the work that Linklater has done, but like, I mean, Dazed and Confused is fucking a fantastic film. And then the other
School
side
of Rock
is where he does
amazing.
Sorry?
School of Rock is amazing.
Yeah, School of Rock. But he did the Before Sunrise series, like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
Which, you can listen to our Boyhood episode.
Yeah, which again does something similar to Boyhood, where it's like use the same actors in real time, like a year later, 10 years later, blah 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 blah. This felt like a very, again, School of Rock is kind of a kooky, fun film as well. It felt very different from Linklater. Like when I saw that it was Richard Linklater doing this film, especially as a screenwriter, I guess I don't know. I think I was expecting something a little more serious. And again, it could be because we did Boyhood on this show, which, by the way, you guys can always go and check our back catalog. It'll be on there. And so I thought it was going to be a little more dramatic. And this is like, it's a Pablum movie. Okay. Like really, it's like, it's got the hot guy from fucking Top Gun and the upcoming Twisters. It's got Adriana, who's like insane. Like somehow is like, makes him look even not unattractive enough, even as his hottest version. Like the outfits and stuff that she's wearing are fucking amazing. But also I found like her character doesn't have, for those that are thinking I'm criticizing her just because she's like a woman or hot, it's like, but that's all they gave her to do. Like, they didn't give her any meaty fucking lines. They didn't give her any range other than like being like, oh, I'm sad I killed my husband, possibly, maybe, and being hot girl. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. So like, I'm not picking on her as an actor. I'm picking on the character and its non-development.
Yeah, like I think like I said, like in terms of character development, they both like grew. And where they were at the beginning is not where they were at the end. But I also think it leaves a little, and I don't know if it's because of maybe like they're like, oh, we might be able to fucking franchise this.
This is gonna be like not Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but like we're gonna like pick up with them becoming killer. Like you're saying, like they're open.
Well, that's the thing. There's the phrase at the end. When they're doing their like after montage and spoilers, like I'll give you guys like a couple seconds here. where,
3,
you know,
2, 1. Okay, go for
yeah,
it.
so they're at their chill, like, you know, when it's fast forward, they're at their kids' school and the teacher's talking to her, and then she's like, okay, I have this ready, I even got costumes ready, and they're like, great, because this person just all of a sudden decided to go to Aspen and left us hanging, we're so glad. And then it like freezes, like pauses on her in her face kind of thing when it says that you know, it gives you the assumption that maybe this person isn't in Aspen, and they fucking killed her so they can get ahead on the student like fucking train, like student parent train. But yeah, like in terms, again, like the ending I fucking loved.
Which part of the ending? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's a
What with when they
like
have
you're talking
the
like the final setup, like that final with the
yeah,
cop.
with the cop, like I fucking love that because it becomes so fucking like think about it, how like where these characters were at the beginning, by the end, you know, again, spoilers, they both commit to killing the cop, but while this guy is suffocating in the pocket bag, they decide to fuck like right there. Like think about that, right? Like where they were at the beginning, and now they're just like so fucking committed that now this is like
This is
she
turning them
doesn't
on.
this, yeah, 100%, like and probably like every last gasp from the cop is probably like getting them more and more excited, where you're just like holy shit, right? So that's why, like, when they leave that like little innuendo about the other parent that went missing,
That's what makes you think that maybe they've got a taste, or maybe that's their new kink, right? Like,
well, yeah, but also that's the thing, it's established that, you know, hitman aren't real, right?
yes, they really drill that home in the opening like narration.
But now they can be real. This man can be a fucking hitman, right? And he has the resources, he has all that, because they like he's been so entwined with the police that technically he can now kind of source it out, right? And just
Sure.
become a hitman.
Like I said, anyway, so this thing's got like it's got a 95% from the critics and 91% from the audience, which I was like, okay, like again, maybe the critics are doing a better job of
That's 100% the air pilot scene. That scene alone is just like
yes,
we're going
that is
for
a very
turbulence.
sexy scene. It is a very sexy scene. And again, like it's what it's like, you know, the cinematography is fine. It's not really a cinematic movie. He is working with his he has worked with Shane Kelly before. He is the DOP from Boyhood and Last Flag Flying. So he, you know, they've got a bit of a rapport. But the challenge I had, so like I don't have a quote. Like, you know, I always have some obscure quote from some fucking random place. I don't have any because like all the fucking critics, like the shitty stuff that people were saying, I didn't agree with. I thought they were just being overcritical for the sake of being overcritical. But all the critics love this film, and the audience, like you said, like they love it because sometimes rom-coms are like funny and sometimes they're like fantasy, right? Like it's just like hot people doing hot things. It's kind of like a noir version on a soap opera-y kind of film. So if that's your jam, or listen, you're looking for something like lighthearted, absolutely watch it. Like I'm not gonna recommend it, but I'm also not gonna like poop all over it. Like it's fine. Like I said, if
Yeah.
that's your jam, you'll like it. I'm assuming it once it does land on Canadian Netflix, it's gonna do well. I actually I should have tried to find the numbers on how it's doing in the United States. I can't imagine it not doing well on Netflix. It is perfect for streaming.
Now I gotta ask you two questions.
Mm.
So one, because you couldn't find a quote, I think this is like the, you know, old verbiage where it's not us, it's you. you know, we are just doing our thing.
What,
but
we
you
the
know,
people
it's
over here? Is that
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we are? You're
Yeah,
that's
because
the
90%,
we?
right? 90%, you can't even find like Joe Blow from Houston Chronicle Texas edition to say Chris Langford is right in his assessment. But the other question, nightclub scene, which one was better? This one or Maxine's?
Fuck off, Maxine. That's a way better nightclub scene. How are you like? I know you're like. I would hope you are fucking joking right now. What is even the nightclub scene in this is not great. It's just
It's
a
just
normal
sexy
nightclub.
dancing. It's just sexy dancing.
Sexy dancing or like cool strobed out 80s fucking dope ass fucking backing track. Yeah, come on. Give me a fucking break here, dude. Those aren't even in the same conversation. They're not even in the same building.
Okay, fine. Which nightclub scene is better? This one or John Wick 4?
John Wick 4. Nightclub scene in John Wick 4. Oh, in Germany? Yo, John Wick 4. Dude, do you even watch movies? What the fuck are you talking about? You can't one has got like crazy German guy taking a puffer, fucking people dancing with waterfalls, ninja shit. Like, come on.
A gunfight and no one stops dancing. They're like,
well, listen, having been to Berlin, getting into those clubs is very difficult. So you probably would be like, yo, not my fucking problem. I'm not getting kicked out. All right, man. You got anything else? I think I've said my fucking 2 and 3 and 6 cents on this.
yeah, no. Yeah, no. I like to me, I think I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's a good like, because it's what, under 2 hours, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like just the tip under 2 hours. It's like 2 hours is 120 minutes. This is 115 minutes. So come on.
And pretty soon it's not going to even be like once this comes out like hardcore, like everywhere, it's no longer going to be Netflix and chill. It's going to be Hitman and chill, because you're just going to be rewinding the whole time. And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
So I guess you could say that this film has a Scott boom seal of approval. Hey, Scotty boy.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like the only thing that like sucked about this movie was the fact that it's under 2 hours, but also my oldest kid wanted to watch it too. So when it got to sexy time, it's like
You had to keep your pants on? Like, what fucking
no,
freaking
like
weirdo?
I had to like fast forward, right? Because I'm like, it's just so fucking awkward trying to like watch this movie critically, and then it's sexy time, and then it's like my 18-year-old daughter is right there. I'm like, nope. Like I felt like I was back in the day when I was a kid, and my parents would be like, but back in the day with us, it was like VHS, so you could still kind of see it while they're fast forwarding. Now it's just like skip. It's like 2 seconds.
The only
Fast
other
forward.
person you'd be watching it with, you'd have to do that, would be your wife, and she'd be the one fast forward. It's like, I don't want him getting all horned up.
Yeah, I'd be
I'm
like,
not
nope,
down
this
for
ain't
that
happening.
tonight.
This ain't happening.
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.